This club's about winning trophies. I'm inexperienced in a lot of those things.
3-0. Sorry for smiling there.
Almost lost the cup and you win it. The new European champions, the treble, the dream come true for you.
Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell. But they never give in. And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we're bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Woo, sir. How we doing? American Red Devils are back. We are back from a little summer break, back from the Euros. Things are starting to get a little bit heated up in the transfer market, at least as the rumors go. Either way, sir, it's good to be back in the pod room, in the heat of summer, sweating it out with my main man. A lot going on. Ratcliffe interview. We got Xerxes bid. We got Euros. Schedules out. Carrington refresh. Sir, where do you want to go? Where do we start? What do you think Jadon Sancho's up to? Did he make that England squad?
No mention of the Copa America U.S. men's national team kicking off against Bolivia right now. We're watching the pregame here. Alexi Lalas dropping some serious knowledge on the Fox Soccer coverage.
Oh, my God.
They could have better commentary. At the end of the day, the Euros looks like it's a smoother operation than the Copa America. And hopefully they iron out the kinks before the World Cup in 2026. But a great summer of international football. Everybody repping their countries. The Euros were amazing. It was a great break for the American Red Devils, much needed, and watching football all day in Germany, drinking some light ales, some dark ales in between, sir. What a great time. What were the highlights of the trek out to Germany for you?
No, shout out to the Euros. My first Euro. It will certainly not be my last Euro. It wasn't our first time in Berlin, but it was a great time. Got away from the fam for a little bit, got to hang out with the boys, and honestly, it was just anytime you're in an international tournament in a host city or host country that has their shit together, not like the last hosts of a major tournament. I don't know. You know who you are. It's a good time, right? The fans from other countries are there. Everyone's there just to watch football, maybe have a couple pints, have some local cuisine. And we didn't see a lot of, shenanigans, which is always good. So the vibe was amazing. The game we went to was a lot of fun, but also just watching other games, right? We went to Sunday, we went to the beer garden, we went to, I'm forgetting, Prater Garden, sir, and we watched the England game and the Denmark game. It was a blast, sir. The whole thing was a lot of fun. Copa America, I'm hoping people are having a good time, but, lawless Copa America, and then you had Thierry Henry and the Euros. So I feel like that's fitting. The coverage, the quality of the games, the quality of the opponents, but hey, rooting for USA, but I have a feeling they're going to make a meal out of Bolivia.
I mean, it's a fan's dream. I mean, you get to watch some games, kick back in the summer. You got Euros from, 6 a.m. through 2, then Copa America kicks off. It's a great combination of 1-2 punch. And I'm excited for the knockout rounds of the Euros. Hopefully more Manchester United players can feature. Bruno had a great goal the other night. Ronaldo was so selfish to pass to him. I can't believe he passed that ball to Bruno for him to score. But Kobe hasn't been able to get in. England's been struggling, which obviously, as Gareth Southgate not looking like he should manage Manchester United at all, or England, or Middlesbrough for that matter. So just a great summer. And we don't have to sweat it. United's off the mind, and you're enjoying some football, and just everything that goes with international tournaments and fans going crazy in the stands, everyone having a good time. And shout out to the saxophone guy in Germany, dropping the saxophone beats in the crowd. You got to look him up on socials if you haven't seen it. It's absolutely a riot. But the Euros is such a great competition, like my first one as well. And they do such a good job with the whole, branding and fan fest, etc. in Berlin was unbelievable. So if you have a chance to go to the next one in 2028, UK, Ireland, Scotland, I wouldn't miss it. We will be there. We're going to go to the World Cup here, obviously, in 2026. And international tournaments, just the best in the summer.
Yeah, I'm a tournament guy. We were always like, we're never missing a World Cup. I'm not missing the Euros because it has the same vibe, same level of professionalism. And we missed it the last World Cup because, we won't go there. But with the World Cup in Brazil.
Wait, Qatar sucked? Qatar was horrible?
Well, there was just no
exactly,
environment. Let's like Doha is just not.
It's okay. Kick them while they're down, sir. Qatar.
It's a good reference point. I don't want to. I like to. Okay. It was not a fun tournament. It was not It was a disaster. Getting to the stadium was a disaster, and there's just no vibe. The vibe at the Euros in Berlin, from what we've heard, you went to Leipzig. Other people, they went to Dortmund. They went to Munich. It's like the vibe was immaculate. It was just the cities are real cities. It's a real country. It's got 80 million fucking people, not 300,000 people. So we need more of that. Like the World Cup in Brazil was amazing. That was my first World Cup, and these international tournaments are special, especially when your country, where there's a deep football in history or just a deep cultural history where there's stuff going on. There's cool cities. Even like a Leipzig is cool to check out. A Natal is cool to check out. So I'm a big tournament guy. I don't know how the Copa compares. If anyone's going to the Copas, let us know. But Euros, check it out.
All right. Given what you've seen so far in the Euros, who's your favorite to take down the tournament?
I think it's a tough one because France aren't really. They're not like, they're probably the favorite going into it. They look a little off because Mbappe got hurt with that nose injury. I think the Germans could sneak it. Something about home countries do well, especially Germany. Or maybe the Spanish, a little frisky there. They've looked dangerous, or the Portuguese, sir. They looked pretty good yesterday, I must say. They could be. I'm rooting for Portugal. I hope they do well.
Let's go. Let's go.
But that could be a sleeper too. I feel like Ronaldo, last dance. Even though I think he could be playing for another 8 years in international tournaments. He's such a maniac.
I think it's a great field. It's wide open. That's very exciting. France is probably that superpower in decline a little bit. I want to say, like obviously Mbappe's not in decline, but I think the midfield and the defense. So I'm going to say Portugal just because I think they're kind of a dark horse, and knockout stage games are amazing. But sir, we're talking Euros, we're talking international football, we're talking vacation. This is a Manchester United pod. Before we get into the latest Manchester United news, quick PSA for the podcast. Again, if you like the American Red Devils, no sponsors on the pod. We do it for the love of the game. You need that Muppet take, we got it here for you. We got laughs, we got banter. That's what football is all about, and that's what this podcast is all about. You want to support us, check out our Patreon page. Like I said, no ads because we're fan-supported. Big shout out to Andrew Jones and Lucas Blythe, our latest Patreon members to sign up. Big shout out to you and every Patreon member that goes the extra mile. Also, check out our store, americadevils.store. Also, our blog, americadevils.com. Like, subscribe wherever you listen to the podcast. We need it. It's just us in the bunker. Sir, tell about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews are a great way to support the pod. Writing 5-star reviews goes a long way to helping us get organically found by other fans like yourself. And we're giving away free merch, even better. So write a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify and send a screenshot of that review to AmericaRedDevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I will send out some free ARD gear right to your door anywhere in the world. Here's a great one from Austineer95, Austin to Tallahassee, Florida. Let's go. My go-to United pod.
What did you say? Tallahassee.
It's a long day for double duty with 2 kids. My go-to United pod on the way to work every morning. Good, honest gents. Love the show, guys. Keep it up. Appreciate you. Appreciate Tallahassee. Love Florida. Brother lives in Florida, so shout out to Wills.
Let's go. And, there's no better place to start. The new owner, Jim Ratcliffe, Ineos, with the minority ownership coming in, taking over all the football operations. He gave a exclusive 30-minute interview to Bloomberg, discussing primarily Manchester United. Did get into a lot of other topics, the politics in England and, Ineos as a business. But the fact that we have an owner who's actually talking, he's out there, giving tons of different interviews, laying it down. I actually really like this about Jim Ratcliffe. He can handle it. He's the man at the top of the pyramid making the calls. And I thought we'd get in a few clips, discuss some of the themes he talked about here. Starting off with the interview clips, he talks about the environment, over the last 10 years, also thinking about who we aspire to be like as well. Jimmy, what do you got?
Things are definitely beginning to change there, I think it's obviously had, a decade of sort of difficult seasons, so it was time for a change. But, there's been a whole series of managers there now for 10 or 11 series that have seasons which have not been successful. But some of those coaches were clearly very capable, so, it's sort of fairly obvious really that the environment there has not been a productive environment for a club to be successful, because you can't blame it on 6 or 7 coaches. It's not all the coaches' fault. So our focus really is to try and change that sort of environment. Well, in
what way? Is it work ethic?
Well, I think it's a mixture of things. I mean, clearly management is the biggest one really, that sort of sets the tone and sets the you need an environment. It's a sports club, so it needs to be competitive. It needs to be a degree of intensity. It needs to be driven. All those types of things, but with a sort of supportive side to it, because you're dealing with players that are relatively young. Some of them, they're still teenagers really. So you need that sort of environment, and it hasn't had that type of environment historically. So
I wonder what type of environment it has had. But interesting words from Ratcliffe. He's coming out post Ten Hag, getting the knighthood, getting the new deal, and he's saying, hey, you can't blame it on the coaches. It's the environment of the club that's set by the management on down, and the club's been lacking a lot of things. That's why they have failed. That is the assessment of Ratcliffe over the last 10 years. What do you make of that from Sir Jim?
I watched almost all of this interview, and I agree. On this point, 100%. This club, you can argue about the individual managers and decisions they made, but ultimately, we haven't been as successful as we could have been because the club was without structure, right? This was an elegant exercise in how to be like, the guys who used to run this club had no fucking clue what they were doing, without just throwing them completely under the bus by name. He's right. I mean, no one could be successful at this club, even if you brought in the top of the top manager. It's just that it's been such a mess. We've gone through it. We've been talking about it since we started this pod. Just giving too much power to the manager, kind of investing in one season, and as soon as they hit top 4, pulling the rug away. It's been a mess. Player power, people who getting contracts who shouldn't get contracts. So he's right. He's totally right. But changing that is going to take some time. And we have a lot. He inherited a mess as well, right? And he talks about that in this interview. How much he couldn't believe how bad certain things at the club were beyond the balance sheet. The balance sheet's ugly enough. Then you start talking about the health standards at Old Trafford, so that's a real mess.
Yeah, when it comes to the
raw chicken,
there's a reason why I reach for that bag of crisps at
Always.
Old Trafford.
This
Always. So, I never even think about eating the food, and that says a lot because I'd pay for some food. I would. I'd give him some quid here or there.
I ate in
Perhaps,
Berlin.
Yeah,
I ate at that stadium.
What'd you eat?
I had a sausage. I had
this guy. You couldn't keep Alex away from the sausage.
I hadn't eaten in 90 minutes. I hadn't eaten in 90 minutes, so I got to feed the beast.
His next point is on gardening leave, which I thought was interesting. He said he's kind of surprised by the whole concept.
Which I have to say I wasn't I wasn't fully prepared for. It was the gardening leave issue. Which is not something that I bump into in my sort of business world, and I see absolutely no point in the gardening leave sort of thing that they have in football. But of course, it just makes it difficult to change things with pace.
Right.
Because Omar's on 6 months, Dan Ashworth's on 1.5 years. Jason Wilcox, we had a very sensible conversation with Southampton. We managed to find a solution to that. Newcastle are just being very difficult and very awkward about Dan. So, until you get the people in, it's quite difficult to drive the change, and it's just frustrating.
So the manager is...
Look, I mean, we've said it here on the pod. I think not getting Ashworth from Newcastle kind of made the whole process of evaluating managers more complicated. And most recently, we've heard they're going to wait the 9 months to get Ashworth. And that's probably smart. Let Wilcox kind of do the B tier job, and Ashworth, let Ashworth. This is a long game. We're in it for the long haul here at the America Red Devils podcast. We will be doing this pod when Manchester United lift that next Premier League title 21 times. It's going to take a long time, and I think we need to take the long view. And I really appreciate the fact that he said he was caught off guard. This is a man who's got billions of dollars, and he's willing to say, hey, this is going to take a lot longer than I thought because we can't get these people in, and how are you going to change the club without that management? So the first clip talks about you need the management. Second one saying, hey, it's going to take a while to get these guys. Interesting to think about the timeline here that we're going to be looking at Manchester United, and that could also be the reason why, or part of the reason why Erik ten Hag is back, because a lot of this change isn't going to happen for a while.
No, I mean, you make a lot of good points, and just the fact this interview is happening in the first place is a great change from where we were over the previous 2 decades. Because even when Fergie was rocking and rolling under the Glazers, they weren't around. They were hiding in the shadows. So the fact that he's doing this interview is a good sign. I agree. The fact that he is modulating timetables, yo guys, this is going to take a while. If he doesn't start for 9 months, that's fine, because he's not in it to quickly trade. He's not doing a PE 4 or 5 years. And then I'm going to sell it. Slim it down, get rid of some costs, get it shitting off cash, and then sell it to somebody else. He wants to, from what he says, basically pass this asset off to his children. So we're in the long con. We're not going anywhere. It's going to take a while, right? We know how bad the problems are at Manchester United, and it's going to take a long time. So I think that's also good perspective, because everything now happens only as good as your last game. What happens today? What happens tomorrow? And this guy, he has the wisdom of being 71 years old. He's going to be this is going to take a while. He doesn't have as much time as the rest of us, but he's not in a rush, it seems.
He's running a marathon, so something tells me he's got some time. Favorite question: where does he want the club to be? I mean, softball to the billionaire. Where do you want Manchester United to be? Let's go.
Interpreters saying there is room for improvement everywhere we look. There's room for improvement at Manchester United, but and we will improve everything, because we want to be, at the top of that. We want to be competing for the Premiership every year and competing for the Champions League every year. That's where we need to be. We need to be where Real Madrid is today, but we're not there at the moment, and it will take time. You can't. It's not a light switch. You can't, flick a switch and it's all going to be.
Is there a club?
Tomorrow.
Is there a club or a company that is a template of what you want it to look like?
I think Real Madrid have done a fabulous job, really, to be honest.
Fabulous.
There's an interesting statistic which compares Real Madrid and Manchester United. If you look at the 10 or 11 seasons since Alex Ferguson and David Gill was the CEO. They retired they left at the same time. During that period of time, Manchester United's net spend on players, so that's players they bought less the income from players that they sold, is £1.1 billion. So United have not been mean with the chequebook. They've actually spent an awful lot of money. Real Madrid over that same period of time is only £200 million, which is surprising when you hear that, because today they have a squad where 6 or 7 players are valued over €100 million.
Yeah, Real Madrid are not absolutely just screwed like United at the moment. I mean, it's sad. It's really sad when you see that net spend figure and how Madrid has been able to keep it up and do so well and win so many Champions Leagues, and United just floundering over here with Antony. That's kind of where we're at.
And it's not even just the squad. They've won 15 Champions Leagues. They just built a $1.8 billion stadium that is now the best football stadium in the entire world, removed of American football, probably, if you take out the one down
Meadowlands, baby. New York Giants, let's go. Jersey Turnpike. Let's go.
The stadium we went to in Berlin from the 80s is better than that fucking stadium.
By the way, the Olympic Stadium in Berlin was
charming. I like that stadium.
They had the 1933 Olympics there. That's where Jesse Owens, the famous photo. It wasn't built in the 80s. just giving you a little history lesson on where we were.
But it's better than the fucking Meadowlands. The new Meadowlands is terrible.
Of course, that was a joke.
Was it really from the 30s?
Yes,
that was
there's a significant
historical stadium. I'm aware of that Olympics. I'm very aware.
Yes, so that you went to, and
I mixed up my Olympics.
A few ales and a few sausages.
There was quite a crush getting into that stadium, sir. I wasn't myself afterwards. What were we talking about anyway? We're talking about being Real Madrid. That is who we should aspire to be. A well-run club. They've done transfers ruthlessly. And even when you think about the very tippy top of the football universe, there's only one other club, and that's Barcelona. Think about where they're at. Compare it, they're like in financial ruin, like hanging on by a thread. And somehow Real Madrid have just set the tone for everybody. Making money, buying players, squad building, and they've like foisted 2 players on us. And gotten like, ha, ha, ha. They sold Varane, like injury record, 1 year left for like 50 million. And I mean, they sold us Casemiro for 80 million with 1 year left. I mean, they know how to do deals. And they bought, Camavinga.
They're tricky. They're also a Super League guy. Like, we don't need to get into like the history of Real Madrid, but either way, it's sustainable, right? They're making money. They're building a new stadium. They're buying players. They're getting better. They're winning trophies. Like, it feeds itself. United is kind of in a downward spiral. Last one here, he spoke on transfers really briefly. I thought this would be interesting. He did address FFP, but, I did not include that, as that is a little in the weeds for some people. But you can check out the whole interview on Bloomberg Television on YouTube. But just last bit on transfers from Sir Jim.
But where you are right now, I mean, you've gone through basically the numbers. You have accountants looking through it. Are there players that you want? Or are there?
We're in the middle of that transfer period, so yeah, we're doing what every other club is doing, which is looking at,
You think you'll get
which are the holes in our squad and where we want to plug the holes, and then what are the possibilities out there in the marketplace?
You're confident that you'll get the positions you need?
I'm not confident that we'll solve all the problems in the first transfer window. No, it will take time, and also bear in mind from what I was just saying. Omar, Dan, Jason, who are the sort of key pillars of the sports side, they're not all in place. We've only got Jason in place, so we're sort of a bit handicapped in that sense. Mm-hmm. So I think we'll do a fairly good job, but it's not going to answer all the problems this first season. It will take 2 or 3 summer windows to get to a better place, I think.
2 or 3 summer windows. You heard it here from the man. I think the ARD pod has been on that. Mark, we are doing nothing this summer. I mean, like, we don't have a lot to spend. Shout out to the U.S. men's national team. Just scored in the Copa America versus Bolivia. Can't imagine they are a serious footballing side. So again, lots of celebrations all around for the U.S. men's national team. Shout out to Christian Pulisic. But look, getting back to Manchester United, it's just going to be a rough window. It's going to be 2 or 3 windows, 2 or 3 years before we're in a better position. Like, it's going to take that long to change the tide at United and really be like competing and be a consistent top 4 side, unfortunately.
And that's not surprising, to anyone who listens to this podcast or paid attention to the last year or the last few years. This team, even if we had a shit ton more cash, it would take a number of summers in order to get this right. There's a lot of positions to fill. There's a lot of back positions, not even just starting 11. There's like, we need like squad depth in order to compete amongst multiple fronts. And we have a lot of players to sell and get off the book. So there's a lot of work to be done. Like he said, not all the players are in place. Not all the players on our side from an operational management standpoint are in place, right? Omar starts in I think he starts in 2 weeks. I think he starts the 7th of July, 10th of July, something around there. And like you mentioned, Ashworth might not start until Q1 2025. They're saying like March 2025. So it's going to take time, but we're in it for the long haul. Anyone who's a Manchester United fan, it's like, we ain't changing clubs. We ain't not watching football. So it's like, It's going to take a while.
It's easier said than done.
Yeah, we're going to get Xerxes this summer, and then we're going to get like Xerxes Plus, and then it's going to get better and better. Xerxes, bro.
We'll get to that in the transfer window. We'll get to that.
Wout Weghorst. I'll tell you what, he's looking sharp.
He did score for the Netherlands.
Yeah. Did he? How was the celebration compared to that goal, that 5-1 goal, like the padded goal? What was that the EFL Cup run-up?
Yeah. Regardless, he is the EFL Cup champ. Wout might be coming back. You never know. So we better not jinx it. Next bit of news. Look, I think a great interview from Ratcliffe. Glad to see he's transparent. He also talked another interview about bringing Erik ten Hag back. Erik ten Hag's been talking in Dutch TV, which is very interesting when you get to watch Dutch TV highlights. Like on Twitter, you're like, this is kind of like Oprah, but Dutch. He's like sitting in a crowd and he's like talking.
It does feel
really
like Oprah.
awkward.
It looks weird. The lighting.
Like Dutch TV is definitely a riot. But he didn't say anything controversial, and Ratcliffe kind of saying, hey, no one can be successful in this environment, and that's sort of the real ticket. No mention of absolutely bottling the $400 million or buying absolute crap players that he knew from before at Ajax. But regardless, it's like it's a reset. Let's bring Ten Hag back. I'm glad they're both on side. But the next big thing was the EPL schedule has been released. We're going to just run through this month by month. Obviously Community Shield in August, we got like a ton of matches. It's already around the corner. We're talking like literally 50 days and we're back in business, baby. Like United,
Let's go.
That's the thing about it is like Ratcliffe's talking real calm for a guy who just bought this club. But when we get cooked in the Community Shield and then you get beat up by Fulham.
Let's not go there yet. Come on. Stay positive.
I am positive. I'm also saying like the reality of not having bodies on this team or players on this team, like
this is going to be awkward when James Mitchell comes back.
We need some serious players in and like loans. Even if you're on a budget, we got to be doing moves. And it's like, I'm like a little nervous about the season. Like I said, I think this season should be worse than last season. Because last season, by all measures of any stat, we overperformed by a significant margin. Like the expected points, we were 15th in the table. Like you could expect that we could be 10th, 11th next year if we aren't able to make moves. It could be very interesting. Obviously, hoping for the best, expecting the worst. That's what we do here at the ARD podcast. August, you're already in the Community Shield against City on the 10th, Fulham at home on the 16th, Brighton away on the 24th, Liverpool at home on the 31st. This is a tough one, right? Because you got the City game, boom, you're in deep water right away. Fulham at home, we went to that one last season, didn't go well.
so let's not use last season as the
anchor.
No,
but I'm saying is like,
I agree.
That's a must win at home.
It's home though. Thankfully, it's home. That should give us a little.
We got cooked at home. We went home.
I know, but last year was come on, we can't be as bad. I agree. I think we might perform as bad or worse in the table for a variety of factors. Maybe the luck doesn't go our way. I think the league will continue to get better as it is shown. But we cannot play as bad a football. Like it's you and I, just from a mental health standpoint, will not be good for nobody.
No, but Fulham at home is kind of one of those games where that's like a must-win game. It didn't go well, like literally in February of this past year.
None of these games went well.
Then Brighton away is not easy. Obviously, new manager, so you're thinking, hey, we got a shot. And then Liverpool at home is like, this is the measuring stick. You got Arne Slot, another bald genius coming in for Liverpool, coming to Old Trafford. If the new guy at Liverpool is able to beat us, it's like, that's a tough look, So some big games out the gate in August. September, you got international break there, so you take 2 weeks off. Southampton away, Crystal Palace away, Tottenham at home on the 28th. So a nice little breather there between Liverpool and Tottenham, Southampton and Crystal Palace. October, Villa away, Brentford home, West Ham away. That's not terrible, but this is not an easy start. You have to be looking at this. And then you get November, Chelsea, Leicester, Ipswich, Everton. A little like November's when it gets easy. The Leicester, Ipswich, Everton, give me that all day. And then December, you got Arsenal away, Nottingham Forest home, City away, Bournemouth home, Wolves away, Newcastle home. This is a tough December.
It's decent though. The last
it's a tough December.
Yeah, we have Forest, Bournemouth, Wolves. Now Arsenal are hard, obviously. City and Newcastle continue to punch.
like 3 of the 7 games, and then you're playing Wolves away. That's tough because Arsenal, City, Newcastle. I mean, you got this schedule. There's nowhere to hide. Like I've seen like 9 games on the trot where you're just like easy games. Like Rangnick came in with 9 easy games. Like this is like pretty balanced. From you're getting like a tough game every 3 matches.
It's actually there, but usually sometimes you get the bunchy like City, Arsenal, Liverpool. We don't have that. It's like the worst you get is one really hard team a month. December, most matches you get 2 really hard teams, right? You get City and Arsenal. But I think this is a pretty decent schedule because it's kind of spread out. I mean, your pain is spread out. A lot of pain spudge opportunities, but all these teams can bite you, bro. That's the thing is like everybody can bite you if you play like shit. If you play like shit, like Southampton will slap you around.
January, Liverpool away, tough. Southampton home, Brighton home, Fulham away. February, Crystal Palace home, Tottenham away, Everton away, Ipswich at home. February is a little easier. March, you got Arsenal at home, Leicester away. April, Nottingham Forest away, City home, Newcastle away, Wolves home, Bournemouth away. City, Newcastle, that's a City home, Newcastle away, that's a tough one. And then May, Brentford away, West Ham home, Chelsea away, Villa at home.
Villa.
In May, finishing the season. The thing about the EPL in 24-25, there's no easy games. You know, you're looking at Villa as that's nervy.
Top 4 Villa, man.
You know, Chelsea, you're saying, I hope they get worse, right? I hope this new guy doesn't kind of, you know, like
they're on to something.
There's nowhere to, like,
Nowhere.
I just look at this schedule and I just have crippling anxiety. It's like Solanke doing the arrow. Like, that's all I see. Like, oh my God, Solanke. And then Fulham just like cooking you at home. Like
Leicester,
like,
Vardy, bro. Vardy, like,
I'm literally like,
Vardy's back.
it's like literally scary looking at the schedule. And you said like, the schedule is great. It gets you excited for the season. There's no crazy run of fixtures. The problem with Europa League, we will get into that, is there's actually 2 more group stage games. So it goes longer. And then you're getting a Thursday, Sunday. A lot of Thursday, Sunday turnarounds for Manchester United, which is going to be difficult, and increasing the difficulty and putting pressure on the squad here. And when you look at a season coming up, it's like there's so much. Like, it starts in like 45 days, and it's like we have nothing done. Like, we don't have another striker.
No.
We don't have another midfielder. We don't have another center back. And that's why it's like, pay the $15 million, get Ashworth in like March, and like, let's have a shot, because right now I'm feeling a little nervous about where we stand.
We're actually in worse shape. We lost Varane. Varane left on a free. We have like one less spot. So we're playing catch up. We have to sign 2 center backs. We need a striker. We need a midfielder, even if you don't sell Casemiro, and you need a left back, right? Because our left back situation is a mess at the moment.
Yeah, and as far as Europa League goes, the dates have been released for the group games, or whatever or the pot games, whatever you want to call them. It starts in September, late September. You get 2 matches in October, 2 matches in November, 1 in December, 2 in January. It used to be where you would finish up in 24, and then you'd have the draw early January, and then you'd kind of have the knockout stages in February. Now it's going to be going to January into Feb. This is the new format. And if you want to read about it, you can go to the Wikipedia page, is usually the best. But essentially, each team plays 8 games, 4 at home and 4 away, against 8 different teams, 2 from each pot. There's pot 1 and pot 2, essentially, and Manchester United are in pot 1 with Roma, Porto, Frankfurt, Tottenham, and Lazio, right? And so essentially you're going to be playing 4 home, 4 away against 8 different opponents. And then you kind of have this table ranking, and then they take the top 8 teams from that table ranking. Then you kind of skip an extra game and you go into the knockout stage, and then the 9th through 24th compete in a playoff round with 8 winners advancing to the round of 16. So it would be really nice to finish in the top 8 because you skip a match and then you get into the round of 16. But it's going to be the new season for Champions League and the Europa League, so everyone's going to be kind of getting used to this new format, which is a little more confusing than the last format, and I don't know if they needed that.
Well, here's the deal. The players need a much stronger players union, because every year they just keep adding games, and like nobody's on the other side of that table making the arguments against it. So they're doing the same thing in the World Cup. I mean, get ready for that format. That's going to be hilarious. Like, I don't even know what they're doing. They got a shit ton of teams. They got a shit ton of games. And it's the same thing. It's just so, you know, from a Muppet Manchester United fan perspective, assuming we're not terrible like last year, like more games, more better. But for the players, it's like, Jesus, these guys are like, they get like, what, 3 weeks off?
It's crazy.
They play so much that it's at a point where it's like, you need fewer games so you could have a higher quality product, because they're going to just keep getting hurt. I mean, I feel like they play too, whatever. That's another pod.
Yeah, I don't know if I needed 2 extra Europa League games.
Yeah.
I'll take 2 more Champions League games, but I don't know about Europa League. But Jim Ratcliffe did say that does mean 1 more home game, and that means, you know, they get the more money, and you get more money being in the Europa League. And he did talk about that in FFP and how that does matter for this summer, so that is a good thing. But I just hope we perform well. I just hope we have the squad and we have the depth to be able to compete in both the league and the Europa League without just melting down across both competitions. Jumping into the next segment here, we're going to talk about our Euros trip. There were some funny highlights. We obviously flew from California through Frankfurt Airport, had to transfer to Berlin. Frankfurt Airport, brutal.
Rough.
Landed there with Alex. You land in an airport. It's like, how early? It was like 10 a.m. He's looking for some breakfast, and all they got is these hot dog stands.
I'm trying everything.
Alex is like hitting the dog.
Wasn't great.
He's like a land breakfast dog. Just
I eat as the locals eat. I'm in the
I don't think
country.
they're eating breakfast dogs.
There's like a stand every 50 yards, and they were all full of Germans eating hot dogs at 10 a.m.
They were selling other things, but like
it was hot dogs,
He went
pretzels,
aggressive. I was like, you don't need to eat that dog. He ate the dog through the half away. He was like, that was
took
bad.
one
I was
bite.
like, I could have told you that.
The Frankfurt Airport, I would say pack your own lunch.
That's fair.
Pack your own lunch.
That's fair. Landed. We were staying at the Ritz in Berlin, which was very nice.
Croatia was there, which was a riot.
Yeah, so like we show up, we pull up the hotel. Croatia's got like the team bus out there, like Croatian fans all around the hotel. We go in and it's just a riot. Like we're basically hanging out with the Croatian team at this hotel. Next morning, I go in for a workout. It's like the Croatian like bench play, like they're playing that day against Spain. Like the Croatian bench players, like in the gym. It's a small hotel gym. I'm like working out, repping with these Croatian guys. They're like 6'6". They're like
enormous Croatians.
And it was, you could tell what floor they were on because like you'd be in the elevator with the different players, which was absolutely a riot. And then Alex and I were in the sauna the morning before the game, and the assistant coach came in. Actually, Olic, like a former Croatian legend, played for Bayern, scored against United, and Wolfsburg and CSKA Moscow. Like, so he's just like this guy, most yoked guy you've ever seen in your life. Alex and I, not like essentially
yoked city, just shredded.
Like, you couldn't be more shredded, and we're just sitting in the sauna just chilling. Like,
yeah, we couldn't be less.
Two guys from Jersey just like, hey, and then he comes in.
Friendly.
Real friendly dude talking to us about the match.
Which was today, which was like the day of the match, and he's assistant coach.
And we're cooking in the sauna with Olic, and he's walking us through like
hot sauna, by the way, hot sauna.
He's like, proper Bavarian sauna. Olic is like, he's a thick Croatian accent, like he's like Spain. They got the speed, the speed. We don't have any speed in Croatia. And we're talking about California. He's like, I love California. He was talking to us about how he played there as a player, and then like he liked the United States, and like he came over on tour with the Croatian players in Miami, and they lost to Peru because they were out partying in Miami, and all these like hysterical Croatian national team stories. And so we were just like all enamored with Olic, this Croatian legend, and he was so nice. And then we're like, okay, we got to root for Croatia, we're like all in. And so we're going to the match, and as we're headed out, like the Croatian team's heading out, and I'm taking the elevator down, and Guardiola from City literally gets in the elevator with me, like headed down. So it's like being so close to these guys. It's like I could take him. I could take Guardiola. I could.
Here we go. Who's faster? You or
no,
Wild White Horse?
Like in an elevator, I could take him. Like this is straight up just like, hey, I'm United versus City, baby. Like I'm here at Guardiola, like cheap shot right before the match. Just doing one for the United fans.
He gave us the FA Cup,
world.
bro. He gave us the FA Cup.
Okay, regardless, but Guardiola soft, soft guy. I just let I eyed him up.
Olic. Olic would drop you with his eyeball.
Yes, of course, but Olic was nice. Guardiola, I just like City scum in the elevator with him. I eyed him up. He knew. He was like,
anyway, before John, I'm
just letting
Guardiola in his head.
Then we saw
Modric walked right by me. I think he was wearing perfume, but one of the greatest.
He looks
of all time.
way more sickly in person.
So little. He's so little and unassuming. We saw Perisic. We saw everybody, and then we went to the game. So the game itself was a spectacle. Getting in was a mess, unfortunately. Like the fan zone was cool because they had sausages and beers and a lot of Croatians. Like I went for a run that day, and the Croatians were getting after it, like 9 a.m. in the rain, slugging beers and smoking butts already. But there was a crush. We right when we tried to go into the stadium, they had shut down the beer outside the stadium, so everybody went at the same time. And that was the only unpleasant experience I had, other than the hot dog at Frankfurt and at the airport in Frankfurt. It was bad. It was like we were in a crush of people. It started getting really hot.
No, it was really
the
bad.
Croatians were a little hammered. They started getting a little impatient. And that, based on if you know football, what's happened over the last 50 years, like that was kind of scary. But otherwise, it's a great tournament. Went to the beer gardens. And
No, but the game, Spain cooked them. Olic was right. He said they didn't have
Speed.
speed, and like Spain's speed just like absolutely cooked Croatia. And then obviously like seeing Modric in person, he looked more. You see him, he looks like sickly, kind of like the Gollum. And you see him in person, he looks way more Gollum-esque. He's like looks real. He didn't look good. Croatia didn't play well. They got beat up, but the Croatian fans, it was like a home game because essentially Germany, so many Croatians live in Germany. I didn't know that, but after meeting a few at the stadium, Croatians love cigs. They're like smoking cigs in the stadium, and there's like and there's like a sign being like, "Hey, don't smoke in the stadium."
It was
and
wild.
all the Croatians
It
were
was
smoking cigs, like
flares
it's like-
everywhere.
yeah, it was a riot, but highly recommend the Euros. I went to Leipzig. Alex came home. I went to Leipzig, caught Portugal versus Czech, which is another great set of fans. The Czech fans are great. Avoid the crush by going in the stadium early.
Yeah, that's the move.
They had the other game on the TV.
That's the move.
Like that was totally the move. Like if you ever go to these types of games, even the World Cup in 26, make sure to go into the stadium like 2 hours before because it can get kind of crazy. We haven't had issues. We didn't have issues in like Brazil, but for some reason I can kind of feel
Qatar was an issue. This was an issue.
Qatar was hard to get to the stadium, but getting in was like similar to Brazil. But the Euros was just on another level of bad crowd management. But if you always wanted to default to avoid that, but I saw Ronaldo, Bruno, like Portugal. Their fans traveled great. That was end-to-end game. Came back and been watching the tournament, but just like. Sir, international football, the best.
We'll be
Shout
back.
out Olic.
We'll be back.
Olic is coming on the pod. Heavy Croatian accent. Like, drop some analysis on Manchester United. He did score against United. You can look that up.
He's buying real estate in California. I'm going to show him where. Yeah, great Euros. And how did the boys do? Like we said it in the prelude coming into the pod, been kind of an uneven Euros for the lads, right? Because a lot of the mainstays, especially for England, didn't make it. No Rashford, no Maguire. Why the fuck is Luke Shaw in the team? He hasn't played since February. Like, Gareth Southgate, what are you doing, bro? But who played well? Kobe has not played at all, really. Bruno's played well. And
Came on
Eriksen,
as a sub.
He did, but like he actually looked good. He came on for like 7 minutes and looked pretty tidy. But the old men have done well. Bruno has done well as usual, and Eriksen scored a goal, and he's looked super creative. Whereas I think Højlund has struggled for that Denmark side.
No, Højlund, like, again, another heated ARD debate at the beer garden. Like, Højlund going missing for Denmark. He goes missing for Manchester United as well. Like, people say, oh, he doesn't get the service. Like Harry Kane doesn't get the service. You got to come deep. You got to make runs. You got to be available, get some touches, get in the game. And I just feel like Højlund, for a young player to have that habit and to see it at United and then to see it in his national team, it's just a little concerning, right? Because you can't just stay up there, never touch the ball, right? Like you need to drop deep, get involved, work on your hold-up play, etc. So interesting to see. I want obviously Denmark to go on. I'm rooting for Højlund, number one Dane fan. I did do study abroad in Denmark, but Eriksen looked fire on the other side of it. But Højlund getting subbed, not scoring, not getting a lot of touches is concerning for the value and money we paid for the man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care as much about Denmark. I care about United, and United, it's tough to rely on a 21-year-old who's stepping up to a new league every single game. So shame on us. We put him in that position, but next year's a big year for him. He's got to step up. But I am very optimistic. I think he's
There's
a
a
hell of
player there, but
there's a player there, but he needs time, bro. It's like we were shit last year, and he still scored 11 goals in the league. Or 10 goals in the league. I think he's going to be fine. But I do hear what you say. He did not look good on Denmark. But Denmark, who's next man up? I don't know.
Look, you want to finish the scouting report?
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, like McTominay got cooked, but they're already out. Scotland already out. He was, they had some tough games. They was 1-1 against Switzerland, and then they got blown out in the opener, of course, against Germany, and that wasn't much of a contest.
You can't blame Scotty for that.
No, I don't. Dude, he does a job. I think the big stories is like Højlund's been kind of absent. Bruno keeps killing it.
Delot got dropped.
Which
I thought was interesting.
Cancelo looked pretty fucking good yesterday, I must say.
No, yeah.
He's a better player.
No, of course he is. Absolutely. Because of everything he can go do going forward. And then obviously CR7 Ronaldo, the legend. Great to see him in the Euros, playing well. He goes in, like, has a free shot at goal, and he lays it off to Bruno. And like, even Alex texting me, like, class move, unselfish from Ronaldo, because everyone says he's just a selfish guy, crazy.
Well, he is.
He's trolling everyone.
The best part is he does it, and you could see his face celebrating with Bruno. He's so fucking mad. He's so because, dude, that's why he's one of the greats of all time, because he has that competitive edge. If you look at the others who are the greats, fucking Tiger Woods, MJ, it's like they all have that edge, bro. They always want to be the guy. So good. You know what? He made the right move, but it also killed him inside, which is fucking funny because the guy, bro. He wants to score.
The funny thing about Portugal and going in person is everyone whinges as much as Bruno. So like when Bruno,
cultural, bro.
I know the Iberian.
You mean on the
Peninsula,
squad, or you mean like in the crowd?
No, on the squad.
Yeah.
So like my favorite moment from the Euros by far, I think, is when it was like Bruno or Vitinha going forward, and then they like misplaced a pass, and they're both yelling at each other, and then I forget the country who, like, Turkey, like, kicked in their own goal and they scored. So like they were like looking at each other yelling that they didn't get the play right, and then this Turkey scored the own goal, and I thought that was like the most Portuguese
on our backup goalie. That's
like
the most
on
I've seen of him.
on Bayern, the chops. Bayern's got those chops, but so many good moments like that from the Euros. Also, VAR I think has done a great job. The automated offsides, which is coming to the English Premier League next year, is great. The offsides decisions are quick. You don't have to like watch these lines get drawn with like paralyzing anxiety, like the Garnacho one way at the Emirates was absolutely horrible. So just the way they do it, it's like clearly it's the same crap technology, and there is a margin for error, but they just show you one picture and say this is the decision, so no one can like freak out about it, right?
I think this is an indictment on English Premier League because the quality has been so high, and it was pretty high actually at the World Cup. I think it's even better at the Euros. Like you said, the VAR decisions have been quick. The offsides have been like literally objective as you get with this fucking automated shit. And at the same time, the only bad game was the Dutch-French game where like it was the English crew. They probably made the only VAR call that was wrong. They made the only VAR call that took 3 minutes. And I think we all know it. We watch the game. We talk about it a lot. It's like the consistency. We don't have to agree on this offside thing, but at least it'll be the same for every team. And I think England needs to step it up, bro. It's like they invented the sport. It's the most valuable football league. It's like step it up. It's like the officiating can be much better, and I think the Euros has shown how much better it could be.
All right, sir. Should we talk some news? United in the news. All right, still 1-0 for the United States in the 27th minute. They're absolutely pumped about it.
They're doing the Southgate thing. They got the goal. They're packing it in against big bad Bolivia.
I mean, we went to Bolivia. What a country! You get cheap jerseys there, sir.
Name who's your favorite Bolivian player, sir?
Never heard of him. Let's get into it. United to invest £50 million in Carrington. Look, Ratcliffe and co. Here we are, dropping some money. You love to see it. Renovation work will begin this week. Initial focus is on the gym, medical, nutrition, and recovery areas. Need this for the players. Carrington is not good. Like nice photos, nice couches. Don't drop anything coffee on those couches. So the light finish on the upholstery here, Jim Ratcliffe, it looks nice. It looks nice. They got to upgrade it. You need these facilities to make the team better, and then also recruitment. So I like the move. 50 million. It's not cheap, not enough for me. We need more Manchester United, sir. We need like $1 billion training facility. Come on.
I'm pretty sure Leicester spent, before their benevolent owner passed, I'm pretty sure they spent like 100. Didn't they spend 150 on their new training ground? They spent some 125. So it's a good start. It's not a trivial amount of money, but like you said, it's like, this is Manchester United. This is the biggest team in the country.
This is Manchester United.
This should be like, we should have a world-class facility to match our world-class stadium. It's a good start, but I think it's also like it's a telling of the times. It's like we got a lot of money to spread around, man. We don't have that much peanut butter, so you're getting 50 for now. You're not getting 250.
No, I like it. It's a great move, encouraging from Ratcliffe, but just not enough. The ambition is not there. But sir, you've been tracking the transfers. A lot of fans have been complaining about this. The news is all over the place. Walk us through who we are linked to from the buying side.
I mean, there has been some movement. It was slow, but in the last week or so, it's picked up. Ever since they kind of like doubled down on Ten Hag, it started to move. So the one we're hearing about is obviously we need a striker and we need center backs. Those are the only names we've heard concrete. In the striker, it seems like we're the most advanced. And hey, another Dutch guy, tall one, Zirkzee. Joshua Zirkzee, 23-year-old, plays for Bologna. He's big. He's a unit, 6'4". Like I said, he's from the Netherlands. Scored 11 goals and 4 assists in in Serie A last year. He has a 34 million pound buyout. Fits the good. Apparently, we're like on the 5-yard line. Like we're about to pull the release clause. We've agreed terms. We've agreed an agent fee. I think he's cheap. I think he's going to struggle in the EPL because of his lack of pace. Also, if you watch the goals and the highlights, and I haven't seen him play in a game, but watching the highlights, it's like the goals are not super impressive. He doesn't look like an incredible finisher. And the lack of pace, I think, and he looks like a good dribbler, but the pace worries me and the finishing worries me. So I don't know, man. I would have gone for like an older, a Giroud with a little less miles on it. Like I think you need kind of a veteran to come in and show Højlund the ropes and take the burden off, whereas I think this guy's going to have a big step up at the EPL.
I watched the tape. That's what we do here at the American Red Devils. I'll watch the tape on this guy. 60 seconds in, like, wow. Then I looked at the football ref stats to see what he can do. Non-penalty XG, most important stat for any striker, 11th percentile. 11th percentile. That's horrible. That's like, you get a D around 60. His pace, you can already tell. It's just like he's not fast enough.
Good passer. He's a good passer.
Here's the deal. I know why they're doing it.
Cheap.
It's a buyout. It's a cheap buyout. He's Dutch manager.
He doesn't pick. You can't blame the manager anymore.
I'm not blaming the manager.
You can't blame the manager anymore.
I'm
just saying.
So I said he's a cheap buyout. He's young. Right, and obviously Dutch doesn't hurt when it comes to a Dutch manager, right? It's not like he's gonna pick him, but it's more importantly that he's young and there's a cheap buyout, right? So basically they can just negotiate with him, pay the buyout, and he's young, so they can resell. Like you said, you've seen the game a long time. Højlund needs someone to mentor him, like a Cavani would be the perfect guy for Højlund to be the understudy behind. Doing two young strikers. They're both unproven. The league is too much of a step up. It can only go bad. Like that's why when you pay too much money for Højlund, it can I did make the point when we bought him. It can only go bad because there's just like he has to be perfect. He has to be perfect to be the number one guy at United at this point in his career. And you're kind of buying another one. And obviously it's like, what do we need? We already have a big kind of like not pacey hold up play striker. We need someone who can take someone on and beat a man for pace. Like you would think if you're going to go a young guy, you would want someone to have a different profile than Højlund, so you can kind of have that 1-2 punch. This one is just generally concerning. The idea that we haven't heard much rumors about Rashford leaving, so that could be another reason to go this direction. But I am just a little concerned based on the stats and the eye test, and also he's not too cheap. If it was like 10 million, like that, or fine, whatever. Or if it's a loan free for something, but this is like a decent commitment, and I just don't see it. It just the pace isn't there, and the stats don't show the full picture. So for me, hey, I'll cheer for him if we buy him. We need a body, like we say that, but you wish you could get something a little more exciting.
No, I just think we have two of the same profile. I think Højlund makes this guy makes Højlund look rapid. This guy makes Højlund look like Rashford. But two projects, I think you could only do this if you're also going to get another guy. Like bring in an old guy. I think you need a 30-year-old who's going to be a consistent goal scorer, who's not going to be intimidated by the pressure of the badge or the league. And this, we'll see. We'll see how he does. But there could be challenges.
Next one, Jared Brandweith. I don't know. I think I'm saying that right. Too expensive for United. Apparently, we agreed terms with him. We want to give him £35 million for him. Obviously, Everton need to sell players because they got to raise money for their, PSA, for the FFP. Tons of acronyms that you don't need to know about, but essentially they need money. We lowballed them, and they think he's worth like $70 million. So I like that Ineos initially kind of came out and we're like, nope, we're not going to do it. So that's from Ineos. Newcastle wants a lot of money for Ashworth. No. Hey, we want you to overpay for Jared. No. I like that Ineos is kind of, it's going to be a year of that. Like you're gonna have to say, like we're gonna literally say no and not get things we need for a year just to kind of get rid of this whole United tax, and that's smart because they're just stopping that.
100%. And they were always going to have to break that. And the big thing is also like they're doing multiple deals at once, which is good because if you watched, we've only ever been able to do one transfer at a time, which complicates things because a variety of reasons. You burn down clock and it gives you less options and everyone knows what you're going to do next. So I don't see us buying anyone from the EPL because the EPL tax is so high and we're so broke. But like he's a great player.
Solanke is the guy you need.
Yeah, but you'd also pay. He'd be 80, and
he'd be.
He wouldn't be. He'd be a lot more than 34.
50 plus add-ons. You know, like you could get Solanke done. Trust me, that's
50?
like Bournemouth, bro. They
like
need
20 goals, bro.
They need money, bro. They need cash. Like you can whittle them down. Selling Mason Greenwood. He's going to Juventus for 50. Now he's going to Lazio for 30. Then he's going to go to somebody for 15 plus a free hoodie. Like this is United. This is just how it goes. Like I'm like 45 million for Green would be great, and then that price just dropping in like a stone, sir. That's just how we do it on the sell side. It sucks. You don't want to see it. Like how could he not? How could he go? He can't go for $1 less than 40 million. Like he can't. We can't sell him for less than that.
We cannot buy this Xerxes dude for more than we sell Mason Greenwood for.
We will.
I know we will because we'll sell him for like 22 million pounds plus add-ons to some Italian club.
And on the footballing merits only, he is better.
He is better. You just watch the tape.
On the footballing metrics only, he's faster. He is better left foot. He has better right foot. Exactly. So like.
Xerxes, bro. Xerxes,
Xerxes.
Xerxes, that name.
It's just.
What's he from? Is that from 300?
Honestly, like that guy, I'd rather bring Wout back. Like I'd rather bring Wout.
You'd rather Olivier Giroud, bro. You'd rather have Giroud out of LAFC. Like
I would rather have Giroud. Yes, I would.
37-year-old Giroud.
I would literally have Giroud. Like that's how we are so desperate. And the problem is just like it's a tough game out there. Ineos is gonna eat crow, dude. We're gonna eat crow this summer. Palestri on the block. Sure, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I think Flamengo down in Brazil are sniffing around. Poor Facundo. I mean, he deserves to be let free and just go have your career. That transfer did not go well. So we have
there's a player there, unfortunately.
No, there is, but we stifled his development so much, bro. All these shit loans. It's like he just needs to go to a club and have a chance to play 30 league games a year. I wish him well. He seems like a really good kid, but we've done a lot of players disservices, especially young players that have come in and expected to be like nurtured. We have not done.
All right, jumping into fan questions at Mike United Mets. Quote, so sick of transfer rumors already, and it's still June. What was the dark ale of choice in Germany, and what was Alex's new pretzel record, more or less? What do you say? I think it was like you definitely did too.
Oh yeah, they like because not all pretzels are made.
It's more like sausage. Like how many sausages in a day? You had like 4 at least. Like that Prater day, you had like.
No, I think I had more actually. Game day, I had 3 or 4 that day. The pretzels are unequal. It's like the pretzels. You can have some really shit pretzels, and then we went to that German place Maximilian's in Berlin, which was tasty, and they had great pretzels. So they have good beer. I mean, they know that. Everybody knows that. Everyone knows Germans have terrific beer. Pilsner was great, but they also had this like dark beer that was delish that I had at Prater. So they've got that covered. They've got beer in abundance, and it's all delicious.
At D_Cole18, with Olise to Bayern, Everton stalling on Brainwaith, UEFA blocking Todibo. That was another one that we didn't talk about, but great mention here. Neves looking more unlikely, and Euro waiting for Real. What are our second and third options you'd like for center back, CDM, and striker? Personally, I prefer us to bring in Xerxes, Kirkez, David, and one DM. Exciting season ahead. I mean, I there's no one to like Vitinha on Portugal looks like a player. I mean, like watch like Leao on the left wing for Portugal. I mean, like these guys are so like we can't buy anybody. We're
Xerxes, bro. We're buying Xerxes.
Here's the deal. Like you gotta look in the mirror. Manchester United, hard look in the mirror. You know what? You and me are making fun of that guy, but like we got to be cheering that guy on because
he's
going to
be our
him
boy.
To score.
Oh, we're not. We
and
always
it's
root
like
for our players though.
It's just going to be a little. The football is going to be a little interesting. The quality of player is going to be below the shirt at Manchester United for a while, like Ratcliffe said in the interview. That's why we started with that, and we will be back. We will be back. like Harry Kane will come back to England. He will come to United.
Oh, that's gonna happen.
We will see like a proper goal scorer wear the shirt again, and we're gonna have to just Xerxes it for a little while. So, to your point, I'm not too excited about many signings because the type of signings we're gonna get are gonna be in the bargain bin, dollar store. That's where we're gonna be.
But we should be like on the front foot making free transfers wherever possible. Like the guy who was starting for France the other night, like went up for a free transfer last summer, and we were just nowhere to be found. The player that I forget his name, the center back out of Fulham, that we were like attached to him, but he ended up going to Chelsea, and I think a lot of that's because the personnel is not in place right now. So it's like those are the transfers that really make the difference. It's like picking up players on a free. We need to get doing that, and not just for 33-year-old strikers who are like, the tailwind of their career. We need to be picking up 25-year-olds, 27-year-olds who are ready to get overpaid at Manchester United, because that's what we do.
At Country Esquire, Rangnick will remain a punchline for many, but he took on an impossible task considering the state of the team and the dressing room wars. With his football tactics legacy and how Austria looks these days, maybe Manchester United was the problem, not open heart surgery, Ralph. Look, I think that is like evident to everyone, and it goes to the point that Sir Jim made earlier where everyone was going to fail. With Rangnick, it didn't make any sense to bring him in and fire him, right? Like he had to come in, evaluate the team, and then go into a director of football role. That was the agreement. But after he told them it was so fucked that they wanted to get rid of him, it made no sense. So again, also the players were lost, the locker room was lost. So I don't think anyone blames Ralph, but United is just a mess, and hopefully at least Ratcliffe acknowledges that, says it, and is trying to fix it, right? Admitting there's a problem is the first step, I think.
Yeah, if you don't acknowledge what the problem is, you're not going to be able to fix that problem. Rangnick only would work if players were willing to like die on the line for him. In Austria, they're ready to fight and die for that manager. So it never made sense. Like you said, he hadn't been managing for 10 years. He was a DOF. We brought him in to kind of be a coach and then be a DOF, and then he just talked too much truth for the Glazers to accommodate that. And he was right about basically everything, and they booted him out the door. So if he had come in, I could see him being valuable in a Ratcliffe setup and an Ineos setup. But Rangnick knows what he's doing. He's had a good career, so I'll enjoy those quotes. Those quotes are all timers, bro. Like the quotes he had when he was like done with it, when he knew they were not they're gonna just like buy out his contract. He was sending it.
When he took off his glasses, you don't have to.
That one.
You can see with your own eyes that this is.
He's a funny fucking guy, dude. Yeah. He was actually kind of funny.
Yeah, it's like the press are just like gaslighting him. But regardless, look, that's it. That's the pod. We're back. Euros, Copa America, transfer Muppetry. You're going to get it here at the America Red Devils podcast. Support us on Patreon, patreon.com/America Red Devils. Check out our store, americareddevils.store. We got some hats on the way. They're going to be in stock soon. New scarf dropping as well. Viva Garnacho. Lots of exciting things going on. And americareddevils.com for the blog content that you need. You need more Muppetry in your life? Sir, tell about our top 10 downloads last 7 days.
Number 1, how you doing? Chicago, Illinois, Los Angeles, California, Dublin, Ireland, Melbourne, Australia, New York, Brooklyn, New York, Houston, Texas, San Francisco, California, Charlotte, North Carolina, and last but not least, Philadelphia, PA. Thank you to all the American Devils listening week in, week out. It's going to be a fun summer. It's going to be a colorful summer. A lot to cover. We got preseason right around the corner. We haven't made a transfer yet. We haven't made a sale yet, but we're going to keep you posted on all things Manchester United all summer long here at the America Red Devils podcast. Take care of yourself. Stay cool, and we'll see you all soon.
The Premier League to us because we are so good. We now set the standards up. The others have to follow.